Well, did I speak a little too soon? So, in our last two videos, I was bragging about how good our sales were. And then, right after that last video, they've been dead. That last video was on Tuesday. It's now Sunday. We just finally got a sale. And so eBay giveth, eBay taketh. And so in this video, what I wanted to do more than anything, and we are going to pull the one order that we have to get out and sent, is I want to talk about our 2024 financial results, because I think that's something that people considering doing eBay or reselling, they really want to know, like, what kind of money can you make realistically if you don't have a large social media presence. And obviously, if you look at our channel, we only have a couple hundred subscribers. So our social media presence from a reselling standpoint does nothing for us. So I think these are pretty good numbers for that. Patty is actually working on a listing. We had scheduled all of our listings up through today, so we hadn't had to do anything. But now we have to start listing again. And this is our little makeshift photo booth out in the garage where she's taking photos of, what is that, babe?
This is a Michael Kors ladies coat. It was mine. I just have grown out of it. It's a size medium, and it's got the gold zippers.
Yeah, that's
it's got
pretty.
Sherpa lining and pockets and a belt. It's got a exterior that is like water
proof,
resilient, you know, and then the Sherpa softness. And I just thought it was, well, when I bought it, it was like a teaching gift because I had earned some money or whatever.
Yeah,
I
like it.
I
it's
can't
good.
wear it anymore.
So we continue to clean out our closets. So we have a lot of inventory that needs to be listed that was ours. And again, I mentioned in the last video, that's honestly the best place to source is right in your own home. But anyway, well, let's get into some numbers, and let's start with our sales. Now, 2024 was literally our first year on eBay. We listed a few things right at the end of December, but really January was our first month. And our gross sales, according to Flipwise, and I've been using Flipwise. You pay a monthly fee to use it. I've been using this since I think March or April. But they're showing our gross sales is $15,689. But when I look at just taking our sales out of eBay each month, I actually show we did $16,319. Now, I'm not sure what the discrepancy is there, and I think once we get our 1099, we'll know the exact number, but it's within a few $100s. And so $1,500, when you think about it, that's a little over $1,000 a month. And remember, we both work full-time jobs, so this is, this is just a small business for us, a side hustle, I guess you would say. All right, I need to go ahead and pull this order before I forget about it. We are looking for Q. Where are you, Q? There you are. We only got to go down one bin. And honestly, when the sale came through, I said to Patty, I'm like, do you even know what this is? And neither of us remember it. It's a pair of boots. And let's take them back over here and we'll look at them.
Ooh, yeah.
So, what would probably help is if I grab my phone. I do this, I lay things down. So it says these are Cozy Steps toggle short boots, brown, sold for $26.51. Patty says they're like UGG wannabes. Let me see if I can see here. We'll go into Flipwise. This is one of the reasons I love Flipwise. When your Flipwise actually takes all of your eBay inventory and just pulls it into Flipwise. Once you get it set up, you don't have to do anything. The only thing you really have to do is once you list something, you've got to go into Flipwise and tell it two things. What did you pay for it? And also, where did you buy it? And you set up those categories. So I just have some basic categories like yard sales, personal, thrift stores, friends and family. And that'll help you kind of know like where is it. So anyway, I go into Flipwise. So we paid $5.99 for those boots, and they sold for $26. So not too bad. $6 into $26. Now back to our numbers for 2024. So we've got somewhere between 15.7 and 16.4 in actual sales on eBay. Now, I'm just going to go at this point with these numbers on Flipwise. It says our net sales were $6,896. So that's going to be after, shipping costs, eBay fees, taxes, all of that is taken out. Now, I will say we do something that I don't know how many resellers do, but eBay gives you the opportunity to promote your listings. I know, for instance, Kevin from Commonwealth Picker always says he does no promoted listings, and then other people do them all the time. And you can do those anywhere from 2% up to 100%. Obviously, nobody's going to do 100% because you're not going to give eBay all of your money. We typically have been running somewhere between 5 and 10%. And so the idea is that you pay eBay a portion of the sale. They push that up in the ranking so that your item gets seen, hopefully, before others. So at that point, it looks like we're running a 44% net profit. But understand, there are additional fees that the way I'm using Flipwise currently doesn't take into account, because Flipwise does allow you to put in all of your other outside bills. Like, for instance, all of these boxes you see, we have to buy. We buy most of our boxes. We buy things like packing peanuts and paper to wrap in. We buy tape. So there's all kinds of supplies, and I have not been putting those expenses into Flipwise. But for 2025, I'm going to. So I've been kind of operating off of two systems. I've been operating off of an Excel spreadsheet on my computer, plus I've been operating off Flipwise. In 2025, I'm just going to do everything right in Flipwise, and that way it's all in one location, and it'll just be easier. But the problem was I had started 2024 on the Excel spreadsheet, and then we decided to use Flipwise. Like I said, I can't remember if it was in March, April, or May. And so as opposed to going back and putting all those expenses in, I've just been running two systems. But here's what I can tell you. So Flipwise is taking into account the inventory cost. So that 44% net profit includes the inventory cost because we put in the price of each item. But what it doesn't currently have in there is our shipping supplies. This is going to be boxes, packing peanuts, tape, those types of things. We spent $775 this year on those. Now, the good news is we still have a lot of inventory here in the garage, so a lot of that will get used going into 2025, but we expensed it in 2024. And then under other, $1,650. Now, you might say, well, what the heck is that? Because that's a pretty good chunk of change. We ended up investing in things like a thermal printer. We invested in a good quality scale, just different things to be able to, like a photo booth and stuff like that. Now, you don't necessarily need to buy all that stuff to get started. You are going to probably need a scale, but you can print your labels theoretically off of your home printer. We just chose to use the thermal because I think it's more cost effective. We're not buying ink, that type of thing. But, we do have some expenses. And for tax purposes, obviously, there's some internet in there because we had to have good internet to be able to do our listings and that type of thing. So if you go by my Excel spreadsheet, I'll just give you those quick rundown. I'm actually showing $16,319 in sales. I'm showing a gross profit of $89.63. That's after all the eBay fees and shipping and taxes. And then when you take out all of our operating expenses, which is going to be inventory cost and shipping cost and all those other supplies, that brings us down to a net profit of $4,033, which is a 24% profit margin. Now, I think that's okay because, again, some of those others, cost in there, once they're bought, we won't have to buy them in 2025. The other thing is the inventory cost on my spreadsheet is the actual purchases, which means if we do end up using my Excel spreadsheet with the tax person, then we would be on a cash basis, where Flipwise uses more of an accrual basis. It only charges off what you actually sold. So anyway, that's a lot of numbers, but in essence, the short of this is we paid for our Christmas trip to Disney with our eBay business. So if you're just looking to make a little extra money on the side, there are a lot worse ways of doing it. Wouldn't you say, Patty?
I would.
Do you think anybody can do this?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think you just got to jump in and start slow and learn the process. We watched a lot of YouTube, others that hottest things like Cha-Ching King and so on. So, yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
Yeah. And you enjoy it, right?
Oh, I do. I like thrifting anyway. I like finding a good bargain. It's like the treasure hunt. So
I would say that's the most fun of
That's
this.
the most fun is the thrifting.
The front side and the back side. When you get paid is fun, and when you have to go find things is the fun
Well,
part.
it's just so
Everything
cool.
in the middle is more like work.
yeah,
The
yeah.
listing and
But you got to do it to make the money. So
Yep.
yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye bye.